to these are the cream or the basics of the Eastern wisdom. Whether you say it is yoga, mantra, tantra, kundalini, or even if you leave aside, just ask a question: can I live in peace that is permanent, that is all the time available to me? That peace is available to me. When happiness and the joy and the peace is available to me, then what? Then every action and thought and the speech will be immersed in peace and happiness. That is the goal we are seeking. So it is very important to contemplate and reflect. And that is why I'm laying a stress on these fourfold qualifications that includes the 9 practices, 9 steps. And once we live into those 9 steps, the journey is always smooth. Then you are free inside, busy outside. I'm also very busy outside. Do you see? So that state of awareness in the consciousness is available to us, but it is available by a choice. See that? It is available to us, to every human being. Every human being is alike. There is no difference. Not at all. The difference appears outside. You guys are, all guys and girls are smarter than me, look very beautiful, unlike me. But deeper inside it is the same. Can I see that? When? All the time. Can I see that? So to see that reality, we have to follow these steps. To see the cell, I need a microscope. To see the stars, I need a telescope. Do you see? Simple things. So, in the same way, I need an instrument of knowledge. A telescope is also an instrument of knowledge. Electron microscope is also an instrument of knowledge. Ask Sam, does he see the binary numbers in the computer? No. But everything works on binary numbers. Whether you say cyber security, Microsoft Office, virtual meeting, everything. Outside, everything appears different. That is extremely important. We'll also understand what I'm talking, how to discern this process. Discern means Viveka. And when you are in Viveka, the result is dispassion. Result is dispassion. Don't try to intellectualize. And dispassion is the cause of the 6 treasures, the 6 wealth of the mind. So these wealth come in front. And when they come in the front, means what? Thought, speech, and action, whatever you express in your life, they come with the 6 wealth. Someone gets annoyed with you, the 6 wealth is working in you, what will happen? Ask yourself. Think of that life. Think of that living. Yeah, even your honey gets upset over something, and you are living in the sex wealth. What is going to happen? Think of it. The intellect will take over the mind. You start working on the mind. Oh, honey might be upset because of his or her own attitude, because of his own level of ignorance. It has nothing to do with me. So what happens? Let me express myself, continue in peace and happiness. So I asked a simple question to everyone. Are you enjoying the journey? Because if you do not enjoy the knowledge, and if it is dry, it will make you bored. Then you will say, I have heard enough, I don't change. So it is all a process of becoming a seeker. When you become a seeker, recognizing that everything is within you, do you need any certification to be a seeker by anyone outside? It's a self-certification. So by these 9 practices, life is a series of experiences. That is why I say river of life. And I think I'm repeating the same story again. A guy was in the boat crossing the river to go to his home. So he asked the boatman, do you know the grammar? No, 25% of your life is wasted. So it was dark. So, do you know astronomy? I know all the stars. No, I don't have a time. My focus is on helping the people to cross the river by the boat. 50% of your life is wasted. We can also use the word, do you know yoga? No, 75% of your life is wasted. And the storm came. The boatman asked, do you remember the story? Boatman asked, do you know swimming? You see, I'm a great expert. I'm a great warrior. I'm Bill Gates. I don't want to go there. 27 years of loveless life. Now, add the story. Find the story with this meaning of Bill Gates. Do you know swimming? No, I don't know swimming. 100% of your life is wasted. There is a storm. So now understand what exactly is the import of this story. River of life is full of delusion, illusion, problem, and suffering. That is our problem. Everyone lives life. No? Everyone is living life. But if the life is full of delusion, illusion, problem, and the suffering, when the boatman asks, do you know swimming? It means, do we know to get out of the delusion of storm, tsunami, there and then? We are understanding the very first primary practice, the Viveka, in a different ways. I need to know how good or bad, need not to get involved in likes and dislikes. I'm not interested. What I'm interested in the truth. I'm in a problem, I feel, I experience. What is the truth? So that I can solve the puzzle of my life. We are aware, we get involved in unnecessary details and likes and dislikes, unable to focus on the target to make life happy. So the river of life, my Guruji used to say, river of delusion, illusion, hallucination in every human life. Now take 2 examples and think of it again and again. Circus women, Circus women can walk on the rope very high from the ground. Have you seen it? Right? Second example. A guy is intoxicated and driving on an 8-lane highway. Look at the two examples. What is our state? How we are living our life. You have an 8-lane highway, but you are intoxicated. What is that intoxication? Ignorance, delusion, illusion, hallucination. Did you get it? That is why we need to understand. The knowledge is required. And in order to have a knowledge with the discernment is required. And the last session, I think I talked about it. What is this discernment? It is understanding. It is clarity. It is clarity. Clarity where? In the intellect. And what is the meaning of clarity? Am I clear that is neighbor's house and this is mine house? Am I clear? That is what the discernment is. Now in delusion, we miss this point. So then what happens when we miss this point? Then even on an 8-lane highways, we cannot drive smoothly. What to talk of walking on a thin rope? And meditation is walking on that thin rope. But if I cannot drive on an 8-lane highway, what to talk of a thin rope? Do you see? This is the power of discernment. So, river of delusion, highway of illusion. So, if the subject is clear, the goal is clear, we are a seeker. Then we connect knowledge by thinking. Thinking means contemplation, leads to clarity. Clarity leads to understanding. Understanding says, I am clear. So someone becomes angry over you. He is living in ignorance. Internally you say, I have to do nothing. I am okay. You are angry over me. Thank you very much. Understand that. We are going deeper. That's why I say we have 3,000 masters. Every great master gave a beautiful interpretation. So I use those interpretation and convert that into a parable and story to make you understand. Take another example so that it should go inside you. We buy a ticket, we board on a plane. What air hostess say? What air hostess say? It gives you the instructions. It tells you 2 exit doors in the back, 2 exit doors in the front. Exit! The moment you have a delusion, make an exit. But if you don't know the exit door, how can you make it? Viveka helps you to get it. Understand, it is possible with every human being. How serious the problem is, how great the problem is in our life, in our personal life, in our professional life, in our social life, we can get out of it. Because once we have an exit, then only I can think of who am I. If I am busy with those delusion, intoxicated, how can I get out of it? See that? So the life of a seeker is to make an exit instantly when the delusion is there. It doesn't mean that, sometime in the beginning you'll have enough anxiety inside, but now you have an exit door. You exited and done. Finished. You are in the state of Viveka, discernment. So first practice is Viveka. Second, Viveka is the cause, dispassion is the result, effect. Dispassion is the cause, 6, wealth is the result. 6, wealth is the result. And the fourth one, it is known as mumukshu. We use the phrase eat to, live to, eat. What we say, eat, drink, and be merry. Eat, drink, and be merry. Now what happens to seek? I live for my awakening. That is the only desire and that is the only goal of life. It lives in you all the time. Someone hates you, I have to evolve. What I have to do with the hatred? Someone appreciates, what I have to do with appreciation? It's all the process of my evolution. I have to awaken to myself. Are you getting it? I have to awaken to myself. But that intense desire for freedom from the fear and the insecurity will never enter into the intellect if you don't have the previous steps. Viveka, dispassion, and the 6 wealth. Why? Your mind is already busy. Busy in what? Pay attention. Busy in what? To remove the insecurity, to remove the fear. How? To remove the fear and the insecurities, pain and the suffering from seeking an object outside where it is not. That is the delusion. That is the delusion. Honey, do you love me? Never say this. First find out, are you in love? So I am seeking my honey to certify that now someone loves me, so there is a security. A couple of sessions before I pointed to Brandy that in one state there is security, in another state there is not. So I have to apply the discernment at every step. Discernment will change your personal life, your professional life, your social life. And we apply the discernment all the time. Am I not applying the discernment when I say here is Lara, here is Samir, here is Sam? Yes, this is discernment, separating. So here is an anxiety, here I am. Finished. That's why I'm laying a lot of stress on this, Viveka. Another point I'm repeating for the sake of understanding, clarity of the real self. One, and the clarity of what is not real self. When you have that clarity 100%, Viveka is settled in your intellect, and that Viveka will take you to the end of the journey. Whether you listen to me or not. Whether you love me or hate, doesn't matter. So what it leads to? It leads to self-inquiry. And the inquiry, simple inquiry, do you remember? Why we add Viveka? Understand, to remove the confusion Confusion leads to delusion, illusion in our life, and the delusion and illusion leads to ignorance, and ignorance is the cause of suffering in our life. Inquiry, simple inquiry. Do you know about Deepak? No. You are totally ignorant about who joined this session. It's a simple inquiry. So you may ask, who is Deepak? So I'll explain. So you get the knowledge. But in self-inquiry, we have a confusion. What is that confusion? No, that's how the confusion takes over my mind. What is that confusion? Sometime my intellect says I am the body, sometime it says I am the mind, sometime it says I am upset, means I am the emotion. But Master is saying that we are real self, so there is a confusion. So from confusion to clarity, I have to apply Viveka, discernment. That is why we are doing. In science also we have confusion. How this particular natural phenomena works, so they also separate. We are doing the same thing. Now let us go a little deeper. What do you mean by real? You see, that is how the process of Viveka starts. What exactly is real? Real is a fact that does not change. So it means, is there an unchanging reality, but I don't see it? I find the body is changing, the mind is changing, the thoughts are changing. Someday you will say, oh, this beer guy is very good, I appreciate, I love this guy. The other, no, okay, he's talking the same thing, making us bored. You see, thoughts are changing. But both these thoughts are constantly changing. Real means fact, truth, unchanging reality. Now take another example. 25 years ago. How old are you now? So I said 61 years old. So the guy told me that 25 years ago you told me that you are 50 years old. Why you are telling a lie? Did you understand that? I'm just giving you a day-to-day example. I'm asking you, what is reality? Body is changing. It is the age of the body. It is not my age. Have you seen that? It's not my age. Body is constantly changing. So what we are, through the Viveka, what we are inquiring, what exactly is the real? Real is known in Sanskrit as Satya, Sat, truth, unchanging, fact, real, the knowledge that does not change, no alternative fact, that real self does not change. Can I settle there? And what is the meaning of false? Now we are separating, you see? Separating. Neighbor's house, my house. It is exactly the same thing I have to do in my intellect all the time. So what is false? First thing, constantly changing. Check out. So how to filter out what is changing? By inquiry in the mind. And ultimately then what will be left in the end? Real. Two more points, important. What is, now false is known as mithya. So there are three aspects of knowledge. One is truth, that never changes, it is a fact. Other is a false. And the third is untruth. So let us pick up the untruth first. Can I have a two horn on my head? No. Human being doesn't have a horn. It is untruth. The false is presented between the truth and the untruth. Here and now. False does not mean untruth. it also does not mean does not exist. Real does not change, it is eternal. Now see, the things become so clear. In Eastern wisdom, we don't follow the mathematics. A is equal to B, therefore B is equal to A. That is what the mathematics is. Yeah? Huh? You can agree. Now see, wave is water, but water is not wave. Body is real self, but real self is not the body. Find out. Discern. Separate. You are there. Are you getting it? So what happens? When A is equal to B, wave is definitely the water, A is equal to B. But B is not, B is the real self, is not wave. Water is self-existent. Water independently exists, whether you have the waves in the water or not. Clear? So the false, what is false can be falsified. What is real cannot be falsified. And you live into that awareness. That is what is known as mindfulness. That is why we say mithya is illusion, because it appears true but it is not. The mithya always depends on the real self, but the real self is independent. If there is no real, you cannot have the mithya, false. If you don't have the sky, where comes the blueness of the sky? If you don't have a water, where comes the wave? If you don't have the real self, where comes the body? Mind, breath, intellect. Last point, you have to think of it. I'll take it later. False is perceived in ignorance and falsified in knowledge. I have to go deeper, How long I will continue to talk of this is Viveka separate. What did I say? In ignorance, I see and believe mithya, the false. But the moment I have a knowledge, mithya is falsified. I see the waves in ignorance. I see the reality in knowledge. What is that knowledge? Water. Viveka is not so easy. That's why they put it, Viveka alone can lead to awakening. So pay attention all the time. Ignorance causes suffering, anxiety, duality, conflict, insecurity, fear. They are ways, can be falsified. How? Removing the ignorance. How? By Viveka. What is Viveka? Clarity, understanding, separating, classifying real from the unreal. You see? Viveka khyātir viplava hanupāya, Patanjali says. What is the method? Hanupāya. Hanupāya means what is the method? Viveka khyati. Vivek khyati means to settle. Intellect is settled in the Viveka, in the discernment. That is the ultimate method. So he proves that meditation is effortless, natural. It cannot be done. So let us start our practice now. Sometimes mind says, I am feeling bored. Now when the practice will start? We are doing the practice. Anyhow, let us start. So eyes are closed. Eyes are closed and the body is steady. Body is steady. You are looking inside the forehead. Eyes are gently closed. You do not squeeze. Steady body. Mind is facing within. And do you remember? Mentally fold the hands. Your hands are folded mentally in front of the rib cage. You are looking in the space between both the palms. And there is a space. The space is self-existent, self-evident, self-luminous. And that space is pervading everywhere. From there we start the journey. So with that, Namaste means humility, keeping aside our ego. Because ego leads to ignorance. Ego does not mean that I fight with you, you fight with me. The deeper layer of the ignorance is that I have a set opinion, belief, that is causing the delusion and still I believe it. So that is why we say we need to keep aside our ego by Namaste, by humility. Add little more, allow the movement of the mind. With that, you visualize that you are in the state of humility and looking into the space. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Casually, may there be well-being for all. Become aware, start with yourself. Their well-being is present within you. Well-being is present in the near and the dear ones. Well-being is present in every being on the earth. So this becomes a contemplative step, reflective. You are discerning. Besides age, shape, size of anyone, well-being is ever present. And you keep your mind inside the palms. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Why they are known as Shanti Mantra? Look at it. We are realizing Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. So, shape and the size of the peace, according to our teachers, masters, they say it is in the infinite space. So you start with the space between the palms. Oh yes, I see that. Then there's space all around, the space everywhere. It says non-corrupted space. Any thought enters, ego comes. Even if the thought is there, you are still aware of the infinite space all around. We are going in between two things, practice and the non-practice. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Purnam. May there be wholeness. Where there is a completeness in the intellect, a feeling, a thought, an awareness of the completeness, delusion cannot stay there. Suffering cannot stay there. I'm complete in myself. If I'm complete in myself, then everyone is complete. Why? I'm part of the existence. Look at it. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness. This is the culmination of humility, a sense of egolessness. Ego is a helper, ego is a barrier. So we are getting rid of that ego which obstructs the knowledge, confusion. That is why auspiciousness. I have an open mind and I am ready to discern what is real and unreal. When that happens, one day you will realize that is most auspicious, most powerful. So once you reflect on, result is being comfortable. You see that. Initially we started the journey with being comfortable, being carefree, you have already known it. But now when you reflected with the humility, keeping aside the ego, you are already comfortable. Just check it. Move the mind on the neck joint. Sensation, comfort and steadiness. Then the space in the Namaste Mudra. Not me, another meaning of the Namaste. Here I am bringing another meaning, not me. What is not me? What my mind knows. So what is the journey of meditation? A movement from the known to the unknown, yet to be known. Yet to be known is the real self. Shoulder joints, be there, feel sensation, comfort and steadiness. Sensation, comfort and steadiness, then there is a space, then there is Namaste. And not me. No mathematics here. Did I tell you the wave? No doubt is real self, but real self is not the wave. Can you see it? In that moment of being comfortable, that is why you feel comfortable. So it happens by practice, days after days, but if the knowledge is there, you can be comfortable all the time. Being comfortable, looking at the entire body. Body is, I will not say. You have to say it to yourself, yes. But real self is not. Why? Independent existence. We already know the real self is not, the body is not there. Dependent existence. So discernment must continue during the meditation. If that does not continue, it becomes habitual, instinctual, and then we get bored by the practice. Then we find another teacher, another practice. One guy, I gave 50 practices. He said, no, I don't understand. Why? Discernment is not there. Being carefree. Again, discernment. Simple. Thought comes and goes. It means they are changing. Feeling comes and goes. Means they are changing. I'm not. I'm none of them. No matter how to force to say I'm none of them. Come on. I'm not Stephen. Stephen is not me. How simple is that? You do it every day. But if there's little subtle ego is there, it will not allow you to do that discernment. That is why we did the first step. You understood that. And then we still continue with an active step, looking inside the heart in the space. And remember, the body remains steady, mind keeps looking inside the heart in the space at a point. In that state, because that will help you to remain the discernment to be alive. And then you start breathing quick, short, and gentle breath from both the nostrils as if you are playing with the breath. From the chest, you are aware of expansion and contraction of the chest, one discernment. You are doing a gentle breathing, second discernment. Every time you are aware of the breath going in and chest expands, every time you are aware the breath returns and the chest contracts. Continue. If the mind reacts and resists even such a gentle and playful breathing, mind wants its ruling. And until that ruling remains, we cannot. So continue with the journey. Recognize it. Cognitive ability. Viveka is a cognitive ability. Oh, mind is resisting, but I have to continue in order to succeed. Mind will stop you. You need not to stop. You are in Viveka. Don't take an exit. Continue. Do not stop in the middle. Continue. And stop there. Start breathing little deep, silent and slow. And you already know it. We will do the nyasa with a 5-point awareness. The body remains steady in the same state as you inhale. Move the mind inside the right arm from the shoulder to the fingers in the space which is a highway, dropping and singing Shanto Hum, and absorbed into the infinite space. Why? We want to get away from the mind. And as you exhale, moving the mind from the fingertips to the shoulder of the right arm in the space inside which is the highway, singing Om Shanti. It is very easy for us to see the water in the waves. It's a physical substance through the sense perception. But the mind is not tuned to perceive the reality without shape in the size. That is why the nyasa, to separate body from the real self in the field of awareness. Now, moving the mind inside the left arm, same way. I told you the breath is the car, mind is the driver, highway is the space inside, and destination Shanto Hum. I compared to make the discernment very clear. It should remain alive in you at this time of meditation. I simply said to discern. How do you know that the wave is water? You're seeing the wave. But it happens in the knowledge, in the intellect, awareness in the intellect, whatever you want to say. Everything is okay. Same thing here inside the right leg. Now, my friends, now inside the left leg. Now inside the spine. You already know as the breath goes in, moving the mind from crown of the head to the tailbone in the space inside the spine. Shanto Hum. And reverse journey from the tailbone to the crown of the head with the Shanto Hum. How simple it is. And now see how the knowledge takes place. In the beginning, how we see the waves in the water. I'm taking that example. And take that wave as a deep sigh and slow breathing. Leave that. Continue with the Shantoham. Continue to move the mind in the spine. So you bypass the body and the breath. Why they both are changing? Shantoham. Shantoham. But Shantoham with the infinite space within. You say, I'm the peace. Peace is of the nature of the infinite space. So you are aware of the body and the breath. So what happened? The knowledge that happens that I am not the body and the breath. So when that happens, I told you, false is perceived in ignorance, can be falsified by knowledge, and the knowledge takes place, clarity takes place by Viveka. That helps you to succeed in meditation. So even saying Shantoham is at the outer level. It is like the wave is water, I'm saying. So with the way you are saying Shantoham. But deeper inside, deeper inside, it is water. So we have billions and trillions of impressions at a deeper level. That's why awakening does not take place. Shanto. Even leave this. Knowledge, understanding, clarity needs only awareness. Live into that awareness. By default, you live in awareness even if you see the wave. Oh yeah, it's water. And also water is not wave. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. Mentally, where is your right hand? Bring your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes, inside the palms, know your experiences, and bring the hands down. How are you, Lara?
I am good. It was interesting today. I had a lot of physical sensations kind of pulling me out and having to really, really focus on coming in. And there was some moments of really deep stillness.
Very
and then
good.
I'd have a physical sensation. So yeah,
Wonderful.
just watching it.
Wonderful. How are you, Brandy?
I'm very peaceful, Girish. It was really deep and quick and, silent. It was a really
Good.
good yeah.
Good. How are you, Sam?
I'm really good. That was a beautiful practice. I found that with the order of how we've been doing things lately, I tend to drop into a very peaceful area even before we do the quick breathing. And again, the quick breathing today was just so easy because I knew that that's what we needed to do and what I needed to do, and I know that it's good for me. So there was no friction in doing the breathing today. And then the Nyasa flowed very quickly and nicely after that, and before we knew it, we were out.
Beautiful, yes. Maybe we will start doing breathing for 10 minutes now. That's good. That's Lara says. How are you, Stephen?
I'm great. It was Sam used the word I was going to use. It was frictionless. I had no issues. I fell into a deep meditation deep within my chest. There was no conflicts. There was no thoughts. And I'm at total peace right now.
Wow, what a beautiful state. And you rightly said, and Sam used the word frictionless. Why? Because the mind supported it. Mind does not want to go anywhere. That is why we have to do the breathing. Not because, don't go into the science, physiological changes, chemical receptors, physical receptors. No, we are not interested. Even though they are right in their own field. Our goal is to awaken the real self. So the word I appreciate, frictionless breathing, means mind is frictionless. Fact is this. Why? Breath is not conscious of itself. You see how we put the logic? Breath is not conscious of itself. How are you, Ashok?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
All good. Going more peace side.
Good,
Better.
good. Now you see, you are changing. And how are you, Deepak?
Pranam, sir.
Pranam.
It's a good meditation. Today is a little bit stress and So I'm not focused totally.
Not very focused. Yes, yes. No worries. Continue doing. You have just started. You have just started, and if you continue, it will help you. I'm stopping the recording the video, and then I will talk to you. Deepak is taking care of all my websites and everything. So recently I asked him to join this session. So, any question? Remember this couple of things that I think I can retrieve today. Then normally I forget all the rest. Razor, thin rope. Do you remember? A woman in the circus walks. But we cannot drive properly even in the 8 lanes. No, we have millions of lanes in our life. We cannot walk properly. Understand that. And because we do not walk properly, that's why we have anxiety, stress, duality, conflict, insecurity, fear. Long list. Yes, Lara.
I have a question, Girish. So you talked about satya, truth, and mithya, false. But what's the in between, the untruth?
Untruth.
What is that called?
Untruth, asatya. Asato ma
Asatya?
satgamaya.
Okay.
So here asatya means untruth, that does not exist.
Okay.
Huh? That does not exist. I gave an example, horn on my head. So
Yeah.
horn do not exist on the human being. I
I'm just curious what the...
I have a big tail. Untruth.
I
So,
was just curious what the word was.
and mithya, sat, mithya, asat. Whether you say asat or asatya. असत्य में मत जियो, बहुत हो गया. That is all for today. We'll meet next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Pranam.
Pranam.